there was a panel discussion yesterday about designers and the role of design.
Right.
But you were quite inspiring in the sense that you said this, contrary to a lot of doomsayers, this is the best time to be a car designer. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, if you would?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a fantastic time, as I mentioned, to be a designer. I think the level of creativity that we're witnessing across the industry, I think is at its highest level that we've seen. And part of that is, obviously, as much as we think that passion for automotive is waning, I do think that there's still a strong passion for it. And a lot of the designers now are so empowered with these incredible tools. They're allowing the creativity or the ceiling of creativity to reach such a higher point. And I think so many people are focusing on the wrong aspects of, how to go about design, where, if you're looking at the results of what's there, it's just amazing.
So do you see technology or design tools in digital tools as a bit of a leveler that kind of democratizes sort of creativity in some way?
I think it does to some degree, but at the end of the day, I don't think that, it limits things from standing out. If anything, I think there's probably some unexpected surprises or things you normally wouldn't have thought of had you not been able to capitalize on using the technology to get there.
And the role of design tools, digital tools, AI within Genesis, how do you apply, what's the best way for you to empower your team and apply these tools?
Yeah, I think, the authenticity of the idea is always, first and foremost. I mean, taking a doodle or a great little thumbnail sketch and then using it as your starting point. Now, all the different steps that happen in between versus the end result, I think that's all up for debate. But to me, to be able to eliminate, some of the mundane tasks of hours of Photoshop and hours of trying to visualize and all these different things. But if you've got the idea and you just need to get it to the finish line as quickly as possible, I think the best thing about that is it gives you more time to continue to generate more ideas and more bandwidth, which is really great.
And Genesis itself as a brand, you're presenting a really interesting concept today. They sort of reinventing or repositioning the idea of luxury, which I think is quite an interesting angle for a brand like yours. Can you tell us a little bit about the concept and around those ideas around that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic concept. We're excited about it because it showcases, the bandwidth of the brand as well. I mean, Genesis, we spent the last 10 years really building equity in our portfolio. We just went into motorsports as well. So I think we've got significant presence now on the pavement. So there's one where we've got another path that we could take now, which is off-road, which really inspired these types of vehicles, is to be able to go out and take on that outdoor adventure. And this vehicle is a perfect representation of that. And it highlights the fact that just because you're going off-road doesn't mean that luxury can't follow you there.
Right. I think it's a really interesting positioning in terms of what we understand the car to be, particularly if you look at Grand Tours of old. The idea of luxury, it was the guarantee or the promise of freedom. And this to me is another version of that freedom.
Absolutely, yeah. And we made some very specific design decisions on the exterior and interior of it to ensure that when you're embracing that freedom, going out into the wild and wanting to be able to immerse yourself in it, that we remove some of the obstacles, some of the things that normally would get in the way, which would be a big display or screen. Get rid of it. Really focus on taking in what's happening outside of the car.
It speaks to me a little bit as a Gen Xer who played outside and really enjoyed that aspect of my life. Well, best of luck with it. I mean, it's an incredible thing. One of the things I really love about it is the light signature. It's very, very strong. Very these two bands run a fun and things like. How important is lighting in terms of brand identity and signifiers for brands these days?
For us, it's being a young brand, building equity and recognition. It's all about repetition as well. And the two-line signature, which was established in the very beginning 10 years ago and carried through, we haven't wavered. I mean, we're staying with that. And I think it's helped us, again, really create a signature. So whenever you see two lines coming down the road, it's a Genesis. And I think there's a lot of power in that. especially moving forward, we want to continue to reinforce. And there's certainly different ways to utilize it with technology. You could play with different variables and equations on it, but for the most part, I love it. I love looking for the two lines when it's coming down the road, and then friends and people say like, "Oh, I saw Genesis." I'm like, "Oh, what'd you see?" Like, "I saw the two lines." I'm like, there you go.
I mean, you can't ask for more than that, I don't think, as a designer. John, thank you so much for
my
sparing
pleasure.
some time.
Thank you.
Really lovely to chat to you.
Great talking to you again. Thank you. All right.